very much for joining me today in Complicated Conversation in the post-9/11 era and the project called Veterans Empowering Veterans in Other Communities. And let's talk, it's time. So thank you very much for joining me today. So tell me a little bit about your background and what you do right now here at the University of Missouri.
Sure. I have a couple of roles. I'm trained as a psychologist, and one of my roles is to support leadership development efforts across the 4 campus systems. So I work with faculty, leaders, department chairs, I work with directors, people who lead administrators, and I also work in the athletic department.
Yes.
Doing some counseling, doing some mentoring, doing some leadership development, doing a variety of mental performance kinds of things, trying to support student athletes.
Right. But before all this, you were a professor.
I was in the College of Education, Department of Educational School and Counseling Psychology, training psychologists, counselors, teaching teachers, also providing some services, some assessment services for kids through adults who were having difficulty in school or work.
Yeah, and you did you finish, how long did you stay there as a professor?
I was there probably about 12 years before being invited to do this work that I'm doing now.
Right. And did you have opportunity to work with veterans or some students that are part of our military while you were there?
Well, certainly. Actually, it's probably been since I left there, but still working for the university, of course, that I've had some opportunity to work with the student veteran group on the MU campus. And that's been pretty much in an informal mentoring role. I've developed some relationships with some young men where I have been able to, through some conversation, help them find ways to capitalize on their experiences, to translate their skills into the world of education, how to make their way through the education process, and negotiate various challenges.
And that also helps them out, you know, like integrating back into our society and our community, connecting back to our community when they come home.
Absolutely. I think that's, there certainly are some challenges, and for them, first of all, just to know that people support them, I think is big. And then for me, it's been a blessing to be able to actually offer some pragmatic advice as well. Not only support, but to say, well, perhaps talk to these folks, try this. That's been very satisfying for me and hopefully helpful for
Well, you are a veteran yourself. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that goes way back. That goes back to the early 70s. I was in the Army, and I worked in Army psychiatric wards.
Oh.
And this was during the Vietnam War years. So there were certainly challenges that many active duty individuals and their families faced because of those the things that were going on. So it was a fantastic learning opportunity for me, and something that has really shaped everything I've done since then.
Right, and after that you got involved into education, which is, and now in athletics. It's fascinating where we actually used our experiences and our skills. So in education and then in athletics, and I think it's very interesting that you do that. And I heard about the team leadership that you are working here. What is that like?
Well, in the course of the leadership work that I've done with faculty and staff, we've created a model of leadership that really says effective leaders are performance-oriented, people-centered, values-driven, culturally competent, and then all of that simultaneously we describe as strategic and integrative leaders. What we've done here in the athletic department is we've modified that a little bit so it's more suitable for student athletes. So we talk about being success-oriented, team-focused, values-driven, culturally competent, and that culminates in being a Mizzou-made leader. So we're working with young people, bringing them together across teams, men and women, helping them understand more about what it means to be a leader, how to create support for one another and to be as effective as possible.
That's like a military culture. I do understand how military is, and some people don't really get this. But what you're talking about seems a lot like military, the culture within the community.
Sure, and I think the military has certainly been a leader in the leadership development arena. Mm-hmm. Coming up with a lot of really important ways of thinking about effective leadership that actually translate very well into other worlds. And so I have borrowed heavily from experiences from the literature that what people have learned in that setting and trying to translate it to this world.